you took that summer camp job after the course, and I know now you're searching for other jobs, and Anna, you have a job now, and Ari, you have a job. So how was that process of actually finding the job?
So much easier than I thought it would be. I was really stressed about it. I remember I was just really worried, and I was like, because we went on a trip, we went to Dalat, and then I went to Nha Trang, and the whole time in Nha Trang, my laptop broke in Dalat, so I couldn't do any, I was planning to apply when I was in Nha Trang, like chill out on a beach and apply for jobs. But obviously that didn't end up happening, but I was really stressed, so when I got back into the city, I got my stuff sorted, and I applied as soon as I could, and it all happened really fast. I knew, everybody kept telling me I was not expecting it to be that quick.
Yeah. You already have a work permit, right?
Yeah, so I got my work permit on, I think it was Saturday or something. I got an email about it. No, Friday.
Yeah. That's fast.
Yeah, so the next step obviously is the residency card that I still need to sort out. I think I'm doing that on Wednesday, but it all happens a lot faster than you would expect. So I feel like, yeah, if you know what you, so the thing is, I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted a language centre, and I kind of had an idea of which ones I wanted to do work at, and so I had a good path. So I knew what I wanted, which was made it a lot easier. And yeah, a lot of the schools here are very, like flexible with what you want as well, which was good, really helpful and really nice to know that you could. Depends on where you're looking to work and what centre you want to work in and all that. So.
And you got multiple job offers or one?
Yeah. So I got a few offers, but yeah, I chose the one that I'm working. Yeah, because it fit all the criteria I wanted: the pay, the hours, the choice of centre. I chose a centre that was quite far away because it came with benefits that I wanted. And like after a year, there were certain benefits you got because you work on a campus that not very many people want to work at. And the good thing about it is you kind of can choose how many hours you want to work. And I was speaking to people at a conference that they had on last Friday who were from other centres, and they don't get as many hours because there's a lot of teachers there, so they kind of have to settle at like 20-ish hours. And I wanted like 25 to 28 just to... I like
salary up,
and I feel like I'm not doing much if I'm not working. So.
Which is crazy that that's considered full time.
Right?
Yeah, it was work-life balance.
Yeah.
Do you like working in the center more outside of the city?
Yeah, I like so much better. 100%. I prefer. The only thing is I look like a complete alien in the area because there's like literally nobody there that looks like me.
Local?
Yeah. No, but I like that because it's nice. The only problem is when you go to like a supermarket and you're trying to find something, you have to show them a picture, or like Google Translate is terrible, so you can't exactly like.
I never thought about that. But
I just show them pictures,
so
and because I was picking up something that I thought was a lime, and I was like, "Is this?" And he was like, "Oh no."
They're kumquats, right?
Yeah, and I was like, "I was limes."
Orange, basically.
I would have been so disappointed because I had like a bag full because I love lime on everything, so. I would have been so upset.
Funny story about kumquat, because we had a long, like an hour and a half drive to get to the water park on Friday. So they handed out kumquats, and I was like, yay, tasty treat. And so I'm just like peeling it. And I've had kumquats in Australia before, but they're quite sweet. And so I just like was peeling it, and I just was like, yeah, but I was like, whoa, that's really sour. And I was sitting next to one of the Vietnamese teachers, and she's like, oh, did you eat it? You're not meant to eat it. They're just for smelling because it stops motion sickness. And there I was being this like Westerner, like, oh, I treat, you know. And then because I had a child sitting in my lap, of course, as they do, they push everyone on the bus, and I was peeling his one because I'm just like, yeah, all right.
He's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and he's just like, and I'm just like there eating it, and she's just like, she's got her mask on and she's put the kumquat like in her mask right under her nose.
Wow.
I was like, that's genius.
And
I just like felt like such a little Westerner. I was like, here I am eating my kumquat. And they're like, no, you smell it. I was like, oh, that's so funny.
So, Ari, what is it that you like about living further out? Because a lot of people know that the centre is District 1 and the surrounding districts, and people generally want to stay there. So what do you like about it? I know it's cheaper, that's great.
There is an appeal for the city, obviously, if you like having
Accept
access to
things.
things like it makes it easier because obviously a lot of people do speak English, especially like Circle K. They speak English, whereas in my
There isn't even a Circle K. I have not seen
no, yeah,
one
there's not. I
in
don't think there's
D7.
one near me either.
Yeah.
Oh, in D7 there's not really.
I've not seen one. Yeah.
Is there something similar to it? Like 7-Eleven or something?
We have like the
Yeah.
big shopping centre like Lottie Mart and Vivo City, but further down we have like Korean Mart, Sky Mart. But I've not seen one Circle K or Family Mart or any of those. Yeah.
District 7 is one of the newest developments, or newly developed districts.
There's so many
Whereas
buildings going
on
up.
the opposite end of town, District 12, where
Yeah.
I live pretty close to
Yeah.
Boca, it's definitely like older, like real Vietnam.
It is, but the thing is, there are some. I stay in a new apartment
In Tan Binh.
in Tan Binh, and I don't know, it's nice. It's very close to everything. I feel like now that I take bikes, I feel very.
So proud of you.
I had no choice because when I was looking for apartments, my realtor was on a bike, and he was showing me one place, and he was like, "Okay, come on, let's go to the next place." And I was like, "What?" Okay, and he was like, "No, you need." I had no choice because I was moving soon. I had to find a place. I had.
Ali's great. Like,
And he
cars
was-
can't fit
Yeah, it is.
alleys.
Yeah, and he was making it. He was very nice. I was like, "It's my first time on a bike. Can you please go slow?" And he did, and I loved it so much that like he was going to D3 and I was going to D1. He was like, "I'll drop you off."
Aww.
So yeah, no, but like staying in outside of the city is very. It is nice to be in a local area because like I feel like the D1 is very marketed to
Tourists.
backpackers and tourists. It's like a lot of drinking, a lot of people going out. And I'm not a big clubber.
And like personally, I would say that D1, I think that people need to stop perceiving Saigon or Ho Chi Minh
As
as
D1.
D1 because it's not. It's not. Like our first month obviously is D1 because NTA is here.
And it's great. It's
yeah,
great
it's
to
great. There's a lot
start
of things.
off here.
Yes, agreed. Like it's a good intro, but I think once you start going to other districts, you'll realize how like there's actually more to
We had that
Saigon.
experience.
Yeah,
We
D8.
stayed in D8 while we were
Oh,
doing the
loved
course, and it was really. We had street food, like really cool. We
Our
had,
laundry lady was right
across. She would wave at us from the balcony. Yeah, she
And
was
then
so
right beside
sweet.
her was like the soup place.
And then we had like that bun place. That was this little place that we would get. Like
Oh
it was
my
like a
gosh, I
bakery
miss
just on the
that.
street, and it's nice. It's really nice to stay in like a very local area.
That really
There's
opened
so
up my
many-
eyes personally to because honestly I was very overwhelmed when I first came here because I was like, wow, it's just in your face, the heat, the pollution, everything, how busy
lot,
it is. It was a lot.
Crossing the road.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't too scary because
But yeah, that too. Crossing the road, holy man.
see that didn't bother me too much because of like I lived in Pakistan for a year when I was younger, so we stayed in a village for a while, and like it was.
It was as crazy.
Yeah, it was mad. Like I remember going just about on a tractor randomly. Like, so, like I stayed in very like weird places. So like this was not that scary. It wasn't too bad. I knew what to expect because a lot of the videos you do see on the YouTube channel are very accurate, very accurate. Like,
But it still doesn't prepare you for like the heat and the noise and those kinds of things. What kind of things did you find hit you? You mentioned the traffic and pollution.
Yeah, I think it wasn't all of them individually. It was all at once.
that's the problem.
That was very overwhelming all at once. But I think 3-month mark, I think now that I'm finally feeling very settled in, and you kind of realize that, okay, this is my area where I live, and once you know what's there,
So
you kind
nice.
of, you don't even care anymore. And sometimes I do have business in D1 where I have to do
Yeah.
errands or
Yeah,
something,
cool.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But personally, I wouldn't have to be here if I didn't want to, but that's just my personal
Yeah,
preference
I'm
because it's
exactly
just
the
not.
same.
I just realized that I thought that this was Ho Chi Minh
Yeah.
and everything was going to be like this, but when you go into the quieter districts, or maybe there is a quieter part of D1, but anyway, you'll realize that there is something for everybody, and just try to be desensitized to, sometimes I get really annoyed because I'm trying to cross and someone's honking at me and I'm like, what are you doing? You could go around or something.
They're
But
just wanting-
that's just Vietnam.
You said you work or stay in DeKalb and D1 now?
I work in DeKalb in D1,
Okay. Where do you stay?
but I stay in Bintan, which is just right across the river. So it's not that far, but it's very different. It's so weird that it's very, very different. And I live in a small alley as well, which is nice because cars can go into it. I kind of wanted to make sure that I lived in an alley where it was a little bit bigger, so just in case I do need to grab car. Those are some things that I guess people don't realize is when you find housing, you have to take account, like, are the alleys big enough for cars? Elevators, if you live on the 3rd floor or above, like, groceries can be such a pain in the butt if you only have stairs and moving in with your luggages.
Unless you have like people helping you, it's really hard to do it by yourself.
Exactly. So those are kind of, I realized that when I was like apartment hunting, there were certain things that I was like, oh, I should think about this. Oh, I should make sure that it has this.
What are some of those things? Can you remember?
So I would say that elevator is very important. Unless you live on the 1st floor, but I mean,
even then, if you have
floor,
I live on the
luggages.
first. Like I had a lot of suitcases,
It's
so.
actually
And shopping, when you're doing your big shop, you're like, remember when we did that huge shopping?
I do my
even
big shop.
getting-
I take it on a bike.
groceries.
Do you? I did that actually the other day.
I have like 2 what are those called? Those bags for life. I have a couple of those, and I just like put them on.
Like
I give the one with my eggs in it to the driver, and I'm like, okay, let's go. I feel so good.
I would say elevator is actually so much more important than people think, because when you think about your everyday routine, grocery shopping could be such a pain in the butt. Especially, I remember my first grocery shopping when I actually stocked up my pantry. I'm like, holy cow, each bag was like 10 pounds. I can't imagine going on the 3rd floor higher, right? So that, and like I said, the alleyway, if you're keen to grab car or something like that,
If it's
just
raining,
know.
like always, sometimes
And if
people
it's a
can't find you.
Our alleyway, when we stayed D8, I didn't feel safe walking through there alone. Like when we would come home from like a night out or something, not only that, it was very dingy to me. It just felt very creepy. There's not enough light, so like I'm happy now that I'm in like a little area that's, it feels a lot safer. Like I know the little woman that sells like banana chips like down the street and like corn. So like they're always looking out for me, which is good.
A few other things I've found is getting in and out of the building. And if it's like an apartment building, what is that like? Is there a lobby where security can only let you through at a certain time? Is there a big gate that gets locked at midnight? Some places do that. And you got to like knock on someone's door, like knock on the gate to wake up a security guy. And
That was definitely one of the things that I was looking for when I found my place, because a lot of the places like
Security's
lock out
very
at 12 a.m. You have to wait for a security guard to come get you. I was like,
You just go through the basement for hours. So ours, they put a thumb access thing on it. Because they made a cafe in the lobby area, so like people would just come in even when it was closed and use the bathroom, so they had to lock it. So now we just have like a thumbprint access thing.
Well, same with mine. So we have the garage, the basement entrance. So my key has the
main one.
So I have a parking space if I want to. So I have the key for the automatic garage door. So when it's past, I think they lock the door at like 7, like quite early. And actually on the weekends, my landlord is like, she's so cute. She doesn't speak a speck of English, but it's just so funny. But I just know now you can't go through the lobby during the weekends because she doesn't open the big door. So I always have to go basement. But it's so easy because our security guard, I think he lives down there, or he sleeps there a lot of the time, and so that's either always open or not, and he's always there. So
I'm never home that late anymore because I teach. And I'm home by like 9:30, and I'm like, I'm good. Like it does open. It closes at midnight, but.
There's often a security guy living downstairs. It's kind of strange. Or Vietnamese family. You know.
I don't have a security guard, but we have a really tall gate that you have to swipe in and out of. And there's also cameras, but I learned this the hard way. I went in past like midnight, or no, I think it goes in at 1:30. Anyway, I didn't realize there was a really, really loud alarm clock that is on from 1 till 6 in the morning. And I think I just woke up my whole building, and my landlord's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, there's a button that you have to press. And I was like, oh great. But anyway, it's good though, security, right? Because
I was like, okay, so I was cleaning my bathroom and I left the drain thing out, and a cockroach came out when I got home from teaching, and it was like maybe like 3 p.m. and I hadn't slept much that day, so I was like on the phone to my landlord crying. And like she was like, I'm out, there's nothing I could do. And I was just like, it's the cockroaches apartment. I'm not staying here. Like I want to leave. I was like, I don't want to stay here. And like she sent the security guard up, and the security guard he was laughing at me the whole time. Because I was standing like on the sofa, like I left the door unlocked. I was like, I'm not, and it was dead. It was dead. Like it wasn't moving and it was dead. Like I don't know how it got up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know.
Brains.
Yeah.
My cat will sometimes bring them like half dead or dead up under my bed. Like, look what I got for you. Waking up.
So, how do you feel then about safety in Vietnam?
I feel very safe.
As
I
women
feel very
and
safe.
yeah.
The only time I felt unsafe is walking down that alley. Like, I remember.
Late at night.
Yeah, if
Or
you're.
even just when
I
it's
think
dark.
you'd feel unsafe anywhere. Like I lived in Glasgow, which is a pretty big city, kind of a dodgy city, but still, like, I felt unsafe there. I've stayed in the Middle East. I felt unsafe there. It just depends. It's not. I don't think it's the city. It's the people, because like there's bad people everywhere. Like
Yeah.
if something's gonna happen
That's
to
the
you,
thing.
no matter
Yeah.
where you go, it's gonna probably happen to you anywhere.
Well, I mean, I didn't find it scary because I don't really get scared by those sort of things because I feel quite confident that I could protect myself or whatever. I'm just like Amazon woman. But actually, the only bad thing that has happened to me here was in District 1, just 10 minutes down the road, on a busy street.
Yeah, wait, I have a story too. Go on.
And I was actually just about to move to D7. I had all my luggage out of my hotel waiting for my Grab driver, which in a car. So I was on the side of the road. He was like 8 minutes away, and he was just a guy on a bike, came up and was like, ride? And I was like, obviously not. Like, you're going to put all these suitcases on your back of your bike?
Yeah.
And then he sort of drove up a bit and then turned around and was just like staring at me. I was like, okay. And then I saw like movement, and I just kind of looked away, and then I just kind of looked, and he was like, had his penis out, and was just like,
Oh, no.
going for it, just like staring
That's
at
a
me,
big car,
and I just like turned around,
Yeah.
and I actually like tried to film him.
Yeah, I remember. I got
to
the
like
thing,
capture,
yeah.
like to see if I could get his like license or anything, but he was facing the front, so there was nothing I could see. But
I had a similar
and he
in
just
the same
said
area.
he was there the whole time, and I just was like, okay, I feel like I can't confront him, I can't move away because I've got 5 bags with me. I can't just
Yeah.
like waddle down the road waiting for my Grab car. And he was there like for the 8 minutes that I was waiting for my Grab car, and I was like, that's just, I mean, that can happen anywhere.
Just in the middle of the
Just
streets.
in the middle of a busy street, right off the huge roundabout, just up where the Starbucks is.
I had a similar
literally
situation near
on the
Sushi
corner.
Tei. It wasn't like he didn't have any do that, but he was on his bike and I had bags with me, and he brought his bike onto the pavement and he was quite old too, and he just started talking to me in like very broken English. He was like, "Hello, how are you?" I had headphones in and I just shouted at him and I was like, "What the fuck do you want?" And I was really loud because I was having such a bad day as well. Like I just got back from Dalat and like I had got my Airbnb and it was like I had no windows. And that really like affected me for some reason. I was just really mad. And yeah, he stopped. Like I think if you're just loud with anybody, they'll just not bother you. And I was during the day. I was like, "What are you gonna do?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, that's the thing. That's why I was saying I'm not scared. Like I wasn't scared of him. I was just
Yeah.
like, that's just like it can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like I didn't even put myself out there. It wasn't at nighttime. I wasn't in an
You-
alley.
yeah.
I wasn't even by myself. I was right outside my hotel.
I think
Oh
it's
my
the thing.
gosh.
Like, just if you're a foreigner, they just think you're a certain way. Because
Yes.
that's in
And
other
it's
countries.
like there's not
makes
really
it
that
the same.
punishment here. Like if that happened in Australia and I was able
Yeah.
to capture him, I could take it to the police.
Mm.
He could get his driver's license taken off him. He could go to jail. You know, like I
Yeah,
feel
try
like,
finding him in the
Yeah.
city.
Do you guys remember when somebody tried snatching my phone?
Yeah.
Remember? So that was what, 2 weeks in?
Yeah.
My
It was
first.
pretty quick.
Yeah, so that was in D1, and I was just trying to cross the street, and I had my phone because I was trying to figure out where I was going. But it's very real
Is it a
that
bus
phone grabbing
station
is a
too?
thing,
Yeah.
and it was it was daylight. So just
I've never had
keep your
that.
phone. Luckily, they
Neither.
didn't take it, but it's very real, and it was completely out of nowhere. It was a guy on a bike that turned left, and I just happened to be crossing. But it does happen, but to be fair, that was the only time it happened.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
I
never
wasn't.
It's not happened to anyone else. So
No,
that's
I
the
don't
thing.
think so. To me.
Yeah.
Yeah, in December, a long time ago.
And you just never know when though, so just be, cautious.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, I think I'm getting comfortable with like my phone out. I was like texting on the bike today. Like I was
Yeah.
It's okay to, but keep it in between you and the driver. Don't hold it out.
Yeah.
I was driving home the other day, and it was starting to rain, and my cab driver gave me this giant U.S. Army poncho, and I was like, yeah, we're chilling. And I saw this foreign couple on a bike, and she was navigating, and she just had her phone out like this.
No.
And I turned over, and I was like, careful with your phone. And she was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't apologize to me.
That's your phone.
But when I first got here, even Vietnamese people, every time if I was in
They tell
an
you.
alley using my phone, or if
Yeah.
I was on the street using my phone, so many people told me,
Yes.
be careful with your phone, be
Yeah.
careful with your
Yes.
phone. And I didn't listen until it actually got
But
stolen.
It happens to locals as well because I witnessed again a guy on a bike, and I swear she was a local. She was with her kid and everything, and again crossing, and he tried snatching her phone, and of course it went into this whole verbal thing. But it happens to anybody. It's not just foreigners, guys. So
But you might get targeted like a little bit more as a foreigner because they know that you're less aware. So it's just a good thing to keep an eye out for that, and also just bags with thin straps or.
Oh, I wear
Yeah.
a big backpack now, and I brought a few bags.
And on the front,
Never.
if you're on the
Never.
back of the bike,
Put it
try
on the
and
front.
keep it in the front.
I honestly think women are way bigger targets than men also in general, that I think that, I don't know.
Oh, I just like, I'm on the back of the Grab and then we're stuck in traffic and I get leered at on the side. I was like, la la la.
Just put
like,
push
yeah.
but also I think you just kind of have to look confident and like
Absolutely.
don't
I'm just
look
like,
fragile. That makes you look you're like a target.
And make eye contact with people. Like, if you look like you're aware of what's around you, I think that makes
Yes.
sense. 100%.
I got a Circle K poncho the other day, and it's got like a little clear plastic bit so you can use your phone. Wow, and I'm like, yes.
For the headlight, but yeah. It works for that.
Because I have to sometimes give directions to like my Grab drivers.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes you're like, I just like.
especially the
I don't
Go
know.
Viet ones. I started taking Go Viet. They
Right,
refuse
terrible
to use their
directions.
own like sat navs for some reason.
Yeah, that's the alternative to Grab.
I prefer Go Viet. They're a lot faster. They're like a little more reckless. Yeah, Go Viet.
I feel like they don't have the same guidelines as Grab.
Yeah, I think so too.
They don't know where they're going and they go there very fast.
I had one guy that gave me a helmet and it didn't have a buckle. He just said hold it, and I was like, sure. I was like, I'll hold this, but I won't hold anything else. Like,
So funny.
It's very interesting to hear that you don't feel like you're in any danger here. What would you say it's like to be a woman coming to Vietnam on your own, because you all came on your own separately? And because I know there's a lot of women out there that may be a little bit more worried about it as opposed to men who, might. I think we actually get more men coming through our program, and one of the things we were talking about is how, well, for one thing, we don't want a course just filled with guys and no girls. It's nice to have a mix, but also if there's something that's scaring women away, do you think there might be something that you could mention with that?
I think when you just Google the city, you just see a lot of negatives straight, but which is for any place, that's the thing. So you need to, I don't know, I think you should read more about like individual people's experiences and not so much like, there was like a government website my brother told me about when I was coming here, and he was just reading off all these crime stats to me. He was like, you're going to become a statistic, I can tell, you're going to be one of those. I was like, I was like, stop, you don't need to go there.
You have to think about the city size. Like any city with around 10 million people in
For
it.
example, like you're not really, like the amount of crime that happens in like London, like all these places, like is nothing. See, the thing is, in the UK specifically, big cities, it's like a lot of knife crime and like gun violence and stuff. Like if you come from the States, a lot of gun violence. I mean, this is nothing in comparison to that kind of crime.
There's very little violent crime here.
Yeah, so it's very
stealing
petty
and
related.
things
Yeah,
like
so it's
that,
nothing
yeah.
that, not too much that would physically.
Yeah. I have seen a few fights on the street though.
Yeah.
I remember when when I was staying in the bottom of D1, and it was quite a local street, and I was just walking around because of some food market sort of place, and I saw these two old men really
Just
getting
going at
into it, and then their sons sort of holding them back, and they were it was hectic.
That's just a Saturday night in Glasgow, so
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
And I even have had, when I was telling all my friends, yeah, I'm moving to Vietnam, they're like, oh, my parents would never let me do that by myself. And I was like, okay. I feel like, my parents travel like most of their life, so it's not really something that my parents were. I'm an only child, and obviously there's like, oh, you're moving far away, but they know I'm confident and strong and I'm smart. You just have to, I guess, believe in yourself. You're like, I can do this, and not be scared of what other people say. This might happen and this might happen. It's like, I lived in Melbourne by myself for 6 years, and all those things you're saying that could happen could also happen right outside my door. The only scarier thing is that you might not be able to talk your way out of it. You won't be able to understand what's happening if something does go wrong, because you can't communicate with the people around you if you need help. That's maybe the only scary thing. But you just got to be positive. You can't be moving over here thinking all the bad things could happen to me, because if you're thinking my phone's going to get stolen, I'm going to get dashed down an alleyway, those things could happen if you're putting that out, that negative energy. It attracts it to you.
I think for me, if you're thinking of moving to a country like Vietnam, there's a reason why you want to, and just focus on all the reasons why you want to. Everything else,
weigh it up. That's what I did.
It's just there's pros, lots more pros than there is cons, as with anything. And I just think that even for me moving here, like the phone thing was probably the worst thing, because I was like, oh my gosh, seriously, 2 weeks in and my phone's already potentially gonna be like gone. And the whole time I was so conscious that it would happen again, but it didn't. So I think that speaks for the country too. And like you said, you do see fights and everything, but at the end of the day, let's say you crash on the motorbike or something, I guarantee there's going to be 1 or 2 people that's going to help you up. Faith in humanity, right?
Absolutely.
People are nice.
As a girl, I would say if you were going to do it, the best way to do it is through a course like this. We met each other.
Exactly.
It made it so much easier and plus you get a lot of like inside information from the people like from you guys, so it helps. Because I honestly, if I was moving here, I wouldn't have done it. If I had if I did like a TEFL course online and then came here. Some people do it, but I couldn't do it. There's so many little things like where to stay, what not to do. Like you would have to, it'll be trial and error, and I don't think this is the kind of place you want to do that in for certain things. So I think the best way to do it is through like
if you're not traveling, if you're coming to work, that was one of my things. It was so good to find something. I wanted to do this course because you're here, you're in the middle of it, you're with people, like your teachers have lived here. You have teachers that can tell you, well, I've lived in this area, and watch out for this and this. You've had experience, and you've had experience in the field, and then you're with like-minded people all wanting to do the same thing, all coming, probably haven't been living in Vietnam, or even
the same fears too.
And haven't probably lived in a third world country or anything like that before, because predominantly we're all Westerners that are doing these courses. And also as a female coming, I think you actually have a lot of opportunity being a teacher. I feel like a lot of females will get hired because especially for the younger class,
they want more females.
They adore their female teachers. There's like that motherly nature, for kindergartens and all those sort of things. Are definitely just like, we want females, and you have such a good nature about you, as like a woman teaching kids. There's just like that kind of, you're a woman, so you have that sort of nature about you that you can kind of take care of children. I mean, maybe that's kind of like what sometimes I feel like is a little bit projected on just as a woman. You're just like, oh yeah, well, we can leave you with kids and you're fine because you'll have kids one day.
I don't remember having any male teachers like growing up. The only male teachers I had was in high school, and even then, they weren't the best. Like, I had one art teacher that I loved, but apart from that, it's nice to see more men teaching as well. But
exactly. It's like a working,
the other thing,
woman. I don't know. It's
as
great.
A girl, as a very vain reason, but massages and everything is so cheap here. Like if you want to like just enjoy your life and work,
cheap nails,
this is the kind of place
hair.
to do it. Like it's a very basic, but like
fun.
everybody,
No, it's fun.
There's things like
you can splurge. And it's not actually
you can enjoy your
splurge.
time. Whereas like back home, I used to get my nails done. It was like £50 a go, and like it's
exactly
not
the same.
worth it. Like here it's $5.
Yeah.
Literally it's $5, or you can
And
get.
it's
The
enjoyable.
amount of
and
massages
you-
I've had in the last few months, like I would never have that many back
And like,
home.
well,
and
we go out for a date night, we get something to eat, and like,
Yeah.
oh,
Let's
there's
get a foot
like
massage.
a $2 foot massage or a $5 for an hour. It's like,
you don't
we'll
feel
just
like
go
you're
eat our
working.
ice cream and get a foot massage.
It literally feels
It's
like you're
just,
on
so
holiday and
awesome.
like you work a couple hours here and there just to make enough money to like pay for your
And I-
massages.
Going back to what you were saying, expat community here, I just wanted to say was just like, it's huge. And I think that even if you come alone, you kind of just join these expat groups, put in a word saying, hey, I'm new. Like, does anybody want to come out for coffee or something? And so many, even women, like there's a Vexpat group that I'm part of. And I think we're all in it, but it's really nice to just see people say, hey, like, let's meet up. And then that's
a huge
how you
thing. And there's
yeah.
always like putting events in. So if you are here by yourself and you haven't done a course, like, don't be scared. Of course.
I came a couple weeks before the course started and I met a couple girls through Fexpat, so I just posted on there and like we met up, we got food and we walked around district. I was just scared to walk around initially alone. I was just like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm directionally challenged as is. Like, even at home, I use my phone, like Google Maps to get, because I walk everywhere, like this was a whole other ballgame. So I was like, I need like somebody to hold my hand a little bit.
Actually,
so there is a really good community.
Yeah.
So it's not as scary as I thought it would be.
And I was here a few days before the course started as well. Not a few weeks, only a few days. And straight away, I just had people like DMing me because I put a story up that I was like, I'm in Vietnam, yay. And then I just had people replying to my story who I didn't even know. It's like, I'm here too, like, I'm so-and-so. Like, obviously, yes, it's kind of like a stranger, but it's the same as on a Facebook thing. It's like you see Instagram, you're doing the same thing, you have a bit of a chat, and you're like, and he was from the UK, and he's like, oh, I've got a bunch of friends, we're staying in this hostel, do you want to come meet us, and we're going to go out and explore the city tonight, because they just arrived that day too. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm meeting in a hostel, so it's not like I'm meeting you at this scary private location, so you're meeting a group of people in a busy place, and it's comfortable. And we hung out for the next 3 days until I started my course, and it was really fun. And they left, and then I met you guys. I was like, great, move on to my next group of friends, which are actually gonna be here for a long time.
I would say there's so many things to do, and it's almost hard just having your own alone time because there are a lot of things
so
going
many
on,
things.
right?
Oh, I love
Just I
Alone
think
time.
if you're coming alone, don't ever think that you're the only one doing what you're doing because everybody's doing the exact same thing. So to me, that was kind of a peace of mind to understand that, okay, I'm not the only girl that's like gonna be there because you guys all, and it helped too that you guys did the whole Facebook group for the class before we all even got here, because you do kind of see who's gonna be in your class and like
stalk their page.
You're not the only one.
I did. I literally like I went back into Michaela's pictures like way back when she was a sorority girl, and I was asking her what like all these signals were that she was doing in her pictures. It was all these like sorority secret signs, and she was like, "You're not meant to know those things." But it's fine. It's a very easy way to move to a different country.